Have you ever wondered what it would be like to grow up with a father who doesn't follow the conventional rules of parenting? At Official Sigma Male, we'll explore how Sigma men become unique fathers, capable of raising independent, emotionally intelligent children ready to face the world. These fathers don't seek to impose their authority, but rather lead by example and build genuine relationships based on mutual respect. What you'll discover here is not just a different approach to raising your children, but a revolutionary way to strengthen family bonds. Get ready to explore a perspective that combines freedom with responsibility, logic with empathy, and fun with learning. Each point in this reflection will not only show you how Sigma men impact their children's lives, but also invite you to rethink your own views on parenting. If this content resonates with you, subscribe to Official Sigma Male and turn on notifications so you won't miss more ideas that can transform your family and personal relationships. Encouraging independence from the first step. Sigma men, as fathers, have a unique approach to fostering independence. From early years, they encourage their children to make small decisions, like choosing what clothes to wear or what book to read. To them, independence isn't a gift. It's built gradually through mutual trust and experiences. This process helps children develop a resilient, self-reliant mindset that will benefit them for a lifetime. A typical example would be a Sigma father watching his child learn to ride a bike. Instead of holding the seat constantly, he gives the child the chance to wobble and find their balance independently. If the child falls, there's no scolding or overprotectiveness, just direct advice. Try again, but this time focus on looking forward. This teaching style, though challenging, allows children to build confidence in their abilities. Additionally, a Sigma father isn't afraid to let his children face small emotional challenges. For instance, if a child feels frustrated about losing a game, the Sigma engages them with reflective questions. What do you think you can improve on next time? This type of interaction not only strengthens emotional intelligence, but also builds character. Encouraging independence doesn't mean leaving children to fend for themselves. The Sigma father ensures he is always present, but avoids unnecessary interference. This balance between support and autonomy creates the perfect environment for children to grow up secure and ready to take charge of their own lives. Cultivating critical thinking at home. For a Sigma man as a father, teaching how to think is more important than telling what to think. From an early age, they instill in their children the ability to question, analyze, and reflect on the world around them. It's not about challenging authority for the sake of it, but teaching children not to accept everything as absolute truth. This gives them an invaluable edge in a world where information is abundant, but critical judgment is scarce. A Sigma father might, for example, pose questions during everyday situations. If their child sees a commercial on TV, he might ask, "Why do you think they're saying this? What do they want you to do?" This kind of exercise, simple yet powerful, trains children to look beyond the surface, making them more aware and less easily influenced. Critical thinking also applies to their own household rules. If a child questions why they should turn off the lights when leaving a room, instead of saying, "Because I said so," a Sigma will explain the environmental or economic impact of wasting energy. This approach not only teaches the value of logical thinking, but also reinforces the idea that rules have a purpose. For these fathers, critical thinking is a life tool, not an optional skill. They teach their children to approach every situation with curiosity and analysis, equipping them to make informed decisions and resist external manipulations. This parenting style gives children an advantage that not only makes them stand out, but also prepares them to face any challenge with confidence and clarity. Connecting through shared interests. Sigma men as fathers don't force family connections through traditional activities. Instead, they find genuine ways to spend time with their children, Rather than imposing activities that don't interest both parties, they discover common interests that allow for authentic enjoyment. This makes relationships more natural and less strained, creating deep bonds based on authenticity. For example, if a Sigma father notices that his child is interested in music, he won't insist on playing an instrument just because he thinks it's important. Instead, he'll explore with the child what styles they find appealing, perhaps introducing them to his favorite band or letting them experiment with different genres. This approach not only fosters learning, but also strengthens the relationship by rooting it in a shared passion. Moreover, this way of connecting avoids the pressure that often accompanies family activities. For a Sigma, spending time together doesn't mean following a rigid schedule, but finding spontaneous and meaningful moments. Whether it's cooking together, exploring a fascinating book, or simply discussing deep topics. This parenting style fosters trust and open communication between parent and child, letting them fight their own battles. A Sigma father understands that constantly intervening in their children's conflicts can stunt their growth. Instead of shielding them from every challenge, he teaches them to solve problems independently. This doesn't mean abandoning them, but acting as a guide who provides the tools necessary to handle difficult situations autonomously and effectively. For instance, at the park, if their child has a disagreement with another kid, he won't rush in to mediate. He observes from a distance, allowing the child to attempt resolving the conflict. If the situation escalates, instead of taking control, he might say, "What do you think you can do to resolve this?" This method helps children develop social and emotional skills that are crucial in adulthood. For Sigma men, this approach not only strengthens their children's character, but also teaches them the value of resilience. Knowing they can overcome challenges on their own gives children confidence in their abilities and fosters a sense of responsibility. In the real world, these early lessons will serve as the foundation for tackling bigger problems with calm and determination. Leading by example, not authority. Sigma men as fathers understand that words carry weight, but actions leave a lasting impact. Instead of imposing strict rules or demanding blind obedience, they lead through their own behavior. They know children tend to imitate what they see, not what they're told. So they focus on being role models who inspire respect and admiration. For example, a Sigma father who values reading won't force his children to read for an hour daily. Instead, he'll sit with a book in the living room, showing them by example that reading can be a pleasurable and enriching activity. Over time, his children develop curiosity and adopt the habit by choice, not compulsion. This leadership style also reflects how they handle everyday situations. If a Sigma father faces a problem at work or home, he approaches it with calmness and logic, demonstrating to his children how to deal with challenges without losing composure. By acting this way, they impart values and principles that children naturally internalize, paving the way for a life guided by character and integrity. Teaching emotional intelligence at home. For a Sigma man, emotional intelligence is as vital a skill as any other he can teach his children. They understand that the ability to comprehend and manage their own emotions, as well as those of others, is crucial for success in life. Instead of ignoring or minimizing feelings, Sigma fathers create an environment where emotions are recognized, explored, and understood. For instance, a Sigma father might notice his child feeling frustrated after a tough day at school. Instead of offering quick solutions or distracting them, he might sit down and say, "It seems like something's bothering you. Do you want to talk about it?" By doing so, he not only validates the child's emotions, but also teaches them that expressing feelings is healthy and necessary. In addition, they encourage their children to develop empathy, an essential skill for building meaningful relationships. They teach them to observe and understand how people around them feel, whether at home, school, or elsewhere. For example, If a friend of their child is acting strangely, a Sigma father might ask, "Do you think they're okay? Maybe you could check on them." This type of guidance helps children relate to others more deeply and consciously. Treating children as adults in training, Sigma men view their children not as kids to be pampered, but as future adults learning to navigate the world. This approach doesn't mean burdening children with responsibilities they can't handle, but treating them with respect and equipping them with the tools they need to develop autonomy and confidence. For a Sigma, parenting is a constant preparation for real life. For instance, a Sigma father might involve their child in simple decisions, such as planning a family meal or choosing an activity for the weekend. This not only boosts the child's confidence in their ability to contribute, but also teaches practical skills like planning and teamwork. The child feels their opinion matters, which strengthens their self-esteem. Additionally, a Sigma father doesn't shy away from discussing complex topics like money, ethics, or human relationships with their children. They explain these concepts in an age-appropriate way and encourage questions. For example, if their child asks why saving money is important, they might respond with a practical example. "When you save, you're preparing a cushion for unexpected situations, like when your bike needs a repair." These explanations make abstract concepts tangible for children, teaching how to read people, not just books. For a Sigma man, teaching their children to understand people is as important as any academic lesson. They know that in life, accumulating knowledge isn't enough. It's equally crucial to grasp emotions, intentions, and behaviors. This kind of social intelligence helps their children navigate personal and professional relationships more effectively. A Sigma father might take their child to observe an everyday interaction, such as at a store or park. Later, he might ask, "Did you notice how that person reacted when they were spoken to? What do you think they were feeling?" These practical exercises not only encourage empathy, but also develop observation and social analysis skills. Moreover, Sigma fathers teach their children to listen beyond words. They explain that tone, facial expressions, and body language often reveal more than what someone is saying. For example, if someone says they're fine but avoids eye contact, a Sigma father might point out, "Do you think they're really okay, or could they need support?" These lessons prepare children to understand the world more deeply and connect with others on a meaningful level. Being a Sigma father isn't an easy task, but the results are undeniable. Children who are more confident, resilient, and prepared for life. Everything we've explored today shows how this approach benefits not only the children, but also builds a stronger, more authentic relationship between parents and children. Are you ready to apply these ideas in your life? Reflect on your own parenting practices and think about how you can lead by example and foster independence. If this video has inspired you, don't forget to subscribe to Official Sigma Male and turn on notifications. Here we'll continue exploring topics that will help you become the best version of yourself and leave a meaningful legacy in your children's lives. What are you waiting for to take the next step? Do it now and join our community.